Hey there, thank you for tuning into the Home and Finance Show. I'm Diana Rice-Wilkerson, lender with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and joining me is my co-host.
Hello, I'm Janis Bradley, broker owner of JB Real Estate Consultants.
We are your seasoned, trusted advisors committed to personally navigating you through the home buying and home lending process. The show is designed to provide you with current and relevant information about different aspects of home buying, home selling, and lending so that you're knowledgeable when it comes time to make decisions for you and your family. You can also hear us on Saturdays on Praise AM 1310 and 95.1. That said, if you're in the market to buy, build, or refinance, or renovate, we'd love to represent you. You may reach us at the contact information below. Now on with the show. Hi there, Janis Bradley.
You know, I always love that, how below and shows, rhymes. I'm a rhymer.
Yes,
but
you
I
are.
make it up. This is going to be a fabulous day, Diana.
Yes.
Why? Because we have an awesome guest, an awesome first-time buyer.
Yes.
And, quite frankly, we haven't had that in a minute.
That's right.
We just want to let you know we actually do sell homes, and she actually lends money. So we just don't make people up, this situation up. We actually do this. So today we're going to talk with Dana Bracey.
Yes.
Welcome. And Dana is a first home buyer. And what we're going to let you do, Dana, is just kind of share your story, how the home buying journey began.
Well, let's start. I want to ask a question.
Wants to start.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do that.
I just want to ask a question because congratulations on closing on your home and becoming a homeowner. I think one of the questions I'd like to ask is two things, because a lot of folks out there are probably going to relate to this. Okay. When did you start thinking about home ownership, okay? And when did you actually take the first step to get that process going?
Sure. Several years ago, I started seriously understanding that I want to sort of pivot. But between COVID happened and my mother at that time had become severely ill.
Okay.
And so that sort of made me sort of pivot, and so my focus sort of changed to her. And so I kind of got off of it for a few years.
And what led up to your thinking about buying a home, becoming a homeowner? Any particular thing?
Yeah, sure. So at one point, I was just trying to kind of figure out what area I want to be in and want to sort of formally have that be my location for residence.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was happy with where I stayed. The community was good, and they had a big school district, and so I felt like the community. What prompted me, it just sort of to anchor my family.
Good.
Okay.
Yep. Excellent.
Love it. Love it. And I know that was important to you during the conversation, is maybe not having your kids move from the community for their school, and because they were at that age anyway, but you didn't have to really think about it hard. Thank goodness. So, so tell us again, Diana did share, the time frame that, when you've been thinking about it, we certainly understand COVID, and certainly sorry about your mom. So, you lived, on the west side?
I did. I live in Ava, Indiana. So really nice flat community. My kids had gone to school there. They graduated from high school there. I started thinking about the home purchasing process. What really sort of kind of really brought me to really pay attention to it is I listened to the radio station. Actually, I think it's like 92.7 the version.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, radio station. Thank you.
Yeah, so I heard the show a few times on Saturday. I would listen in on the show. I heard you on the show.
Yes.
Various guests. And so I would just periodically listen. I sometimes force my kids to listen to
Really? Okay.
I wouldn't turn away. So I listened to it, so you can be in my car.
Okay.
We're listening to it. So, so I heard about the company, and so I went to one of the seminars. I think the gentleman's name was LaFrance. I can't remember his name, but there was a gentleman who facilitated.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they worked with repair.
So I went to one of it was in the evening time, so I went to a seminar.
Fantastic.
Yep.
I think what we'd like you to do, if you don't mind, although this is, of course, the TV show, but if you would mind, on the radio show, can you just kind of share with us maybe what kind of perked or kind of made you feel like, okay, this is something that I'd like to do? Because we try our best to be as educational as we possibly can, but maybe something that made you tick or, just said, okay, I want to reach out.
Yeah. So on the radio show, to me, there was a personal approach to the home buying process. There are realistic examples of people who had sort of fallen through pitfalls and sort of how they kind of overcame it. There's a lot of good kind of question and answer type of thought process around it, so it made me feel comfortable. So that's the reason why I selected this, particular organization I thought I was interested in and what sort of, and I like the fact, well, for the most part, it's just I felt comfortable I looked at the organization. It sounded valid. I'm very.
Did your research? Smart lady. Yes.
Yeah, very. What's the word?
Cautious, pragmatic, careful.
Those are nice words.
That's the word.
Suspicious.
She has to feel it. Penetrate.
I'm very much really, So that was sort of the reason why I went with this organization. I banked with a major bank. I had been pre-approved with them previously, but I just didn't go forward. And so I just decided to do it again. And so I chose this way to go.
You know what? We really appreciate those words that you shared with us. I mean, that helps us know that we're on the right track, And again, feeling very comfortable. We appreciate that. We really do. So what was the first step? After the seminar.
So the first step is, I think, and I was trying to remember how this went. I think I reached out to you, actually.
Diana.
And yes, and I believe you said, hey, you need to go online and start an application. So I did. Go online and I filled out the credit application or what have you. And I submitted it and I waited a couple of days. And from what I recall, I was trying to put it back together again. She reached back out to me and she said to me something to the effect of, hey, I think, we could do a mortgage with you, but I think you might be better served if you go in this other direction than what I was looking for. And so there was, what I thought, remember, was there was a communication where she recommended another vendor, actually. And so to me, it spoke to an unselfishness about it, because she could have just stayed with me and it was what it was. I wouldn't have thought any differently, to be honest with you. But she thought she had a better connection for what I was looking for. So she connected me with another vendor, a lender, First Richards Bank, and then she connected me with you because I didn't know you. And so I sort of trusted, just based on the fact that she was unselfish with the business and networking, that to me made me feel comfortable on some level. And, and so it began. And so what ended up happening is I reached out to you, and I thanked everybody, and I reached out to Ms. Dorothy Dodd, who was really nice as well, and said, hey, here's what I'm looking for. We had a couple of conversations about what I was looking for. Told you I'm not a fixer-upper person.
Yes.
Any kind of fixer-upper situation.
I do not want a renovation loan. What?
That gives me pause.
I love it.
A few things that I understood.
Yeah, I should have brought my notes on that conversation.
Yeah, and so I kind of went through what I was looking for, what I was used to, and talked to Ms. Dodd, and so Ms. Dodd, I had to escalate an application through their organization as well, right? And so I had to be vetted through their underwriting process, which is very sort of arduous. And so a bunch of documentation needed to be submitted, bank statements, different streams of income that I had to provide that information to them. One of the biggest challenges that we had is that I was trying to see if there were any programs that I qualified for. And that was like one of my biggest concerns, because I always hear about these wonderful programs. And one of the biggest impediments that I had to that is because of my income. I make over six figures. And so there are not too many programs that I qualify for. And so
that's why Diana took you
right
there.
And I'm like, hey, I'm poor.
You got a family thing. Yeah, too.
Yeah, they have good appetites. And
one in college and one who just went off to school. And so, I'm kind of concerned about tuition and what's going on there.
Absolutely.
And so I was trying to figure out the most economical way that I can make it happen. And then also sort of kind of keep it in my rearview mirror, the fact that, I'm going to be empty nester pretty soon. I don't anticipate my sons will live with me forever. And so I'm trying to kind of keep those in my mind. So what ended up happening is we talked about a couple of different programs, and one of the programs we talked about was like a census.
It's a census tract.
Yeah, exact program. So
Thank you for mentioning that.
yeah, and so when the first few houses that I saw, they were in neighborhoods that were, as I was up and coming, and so, but they weren't my neighborhood, right? So
They were up and coming there.
yeah,
Under construction.
It's hard.
the houses were nice, and I understand the thought process.
Yes.
You know, there are a lot of, you know, from Chicago, there's an area called Bronzeville, similar situation where when I was a kid growing up, Bronzeville was a certain kind of neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you see these little $600,000 houses kind of pop up around the brownstone. There's all of this like a big brownstone, and but somebody got to be the first,
Yes.
to make it kind of come back. And so I wasn't clear that I was wanting to be the first. And so we kept looking. And so what ended up happening is we saw a few different houses, and I kind of hemmed and hawed. She knows I would stalk the house. I would drive by there all the time. Yeah. Because once you see a house, I want to see how the neighborhood moves.
Yes.
Are there people I want to deal with every day? Do I want to see this every day? And so it's not only just how the house looks itself, but I'm kind of interested in the neighborhood. I don't like riffraff. I have very low tolerance for things that make me uncomfortable, honestly. So a couple of houses I didn't get because God didn't have them for me, to be honest with you. But you know, I waited my stalking went too long.
Yeah, let's put everything in its proper perspective.
Yeah.
Although we do know where we are, this was absolutely perfect. But yeah, I don't know if we saw that first house twice or not, but it did need work. You don't know until you get into the house, you know, and the price. You know, everybody's kind of looks at the price, and for what you're looking for is square footage. Right. But as we know, and she didn't just walk in and walk out. I mean, she, you know,
Took it all in.
Yeah.
But so it wasn't an immediate decision. She really thinks about the family dynamics, you know, and any money. She didn't want to have to do anything, but
Right.
you don't know till you get in.
Yeah.
I think some questions I think that I have. Number one, I think what you described in terms of neighborhood, feeling safe in that's common. Yeah. It sounds like what you were after is what a lot of folks are after, especially if they're getting ready to put down roots. But my question is, how many houses did you guys look at before you decided on this one?
I basically looked at, I want to say maybe like 3.
Okay.
You're right.
I stalked about 20.
Okay, online?
Yeah. I would drive by.
Yeah. Right. But in terms of going inside, and how long of a time frame did this take? From the time you were pre-approved to the time you actually went under contract? What time frame are we talking?
60 days, because really I had a strong interest in closing it by the time my son graduated.
Okay.
And I expressed that to her. So I asked her to kind of stay on me about it, because I just, you know, I don't want to, I'm really very busy at my job, but I don't want to get too sideways.
That's right.
So there's a timeliness to it that I want to sort of be mindful of, because I want to make my move before my son went off to college, so that we kind of get that settled.
Right.
And then pivot. I didn't want to be moving while he was away at school, and he's like, whose house is this? So I want to make sure we had enough time for him to kind of understand the house or what have you. So, but it went pretty fast. Like once I really was on it, it went really fast. I would send her texts all the time, sometimes really worrying texts, but she, I would communicate with her basically almost every day. Towards the end part of it, I would communicate with Miss Diana every day. Yeah. So she would call me. So a lot of texts and emails about documentation that was required. And so when we finally found this home, coincidentally, it was when my son graduated. I saw the house. I let her know it was some of the queues of houses that she was kind of sent to me. And I ended up going to see the house myself at like 6 a.m. I drove out to see it.
I'm telling a special. I get them.
I was very interested, so I drove down there to see it. And then when I texted her, I went to a party, and we kind of communicated.
Because it was at a holiday or something?
I can't remember. It was at the party, because I know I ran. So her daughter had a graduation party.
Okay.
And you told me, we were talking about what the house costs, and you said, okay, we'd like to put, you know, what you said?
Was it your down payments?
What?
Because the other program we didn't qualify.
Yeah.
So, I made a comment about what? Putting an offer in or something?
But you told me it comes from
Oh, okay. Come strong. Okay. Come strong.
Right, come strong, because, we could kind of be outbid based on the offer of the house.
And is this this offer where you told her to come strong, is that the house that you got? Okay. So was this were you bidding over the list price?
I did end up doing that.
You did bid over the list price, which is a very good strategy and when you're competing with others. We have a few minutes left there, and I want to get into certain things about the process. When it came to getting approved, did you have to do any work with credit? Did you have to do any work at all in terms of your financial picture?
No.
You were already set, which is awesome.
It's already been pre-approved by Chase, so I already had that, but I didn't go in that direction.
Which is okay. My other questions, by the time you got to Dorothy Dodd, did you feel you had a good handle on the process?
Well, she made sure. Because what ended
Good.
up happening. Oh, you. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. No.
Because what ended up happening is because of the house. I didn't know, because I was prepared at that point to put down.
She was, and that's what was great. She was prepared because she knew how important that is.
Exactly. So I had my money ready. Even though in my my wish dreams was like, hey, have one where there's no down payment. So what ended up happening is she constantly was sort of going back and forth with the underwriters about different documentation that they needed. That was what she needed was, hey, verify your income here. Okay, now it's a month later, updated again. It was a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, same person. And so when we finally found the house, I'm trying to remember the order of things, but at some point it came to my attention that the house, unbeknownst to me,
Unbeknownst to us.
So, us, that it was on a census tract because
It was in the zip code.
That's very good.
the subdivision is a really nice subdivision.
Yeah.
I really enjoy where I stay. Because, as a matter of fact, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I could live here.
Yes.
I see immediately. Normally, if I don't see myself living somewhere, I wouldn't even be bothered with it.
Right.
So when she told me that, I was shocked. And I'm like, okay. And so she said, so what that means, and she kind of explains what that meant to me. And I'm like, oh, for real. So what ended up happening is the house that I got, I didn't have to put down a down payment on it.
Because of the location. So that is, and even though your income, because this is important, very important. So, a lot of folks don't know this. I would imagine that these are one of the best kept secrets, even with some of the first-time homebuyer programs and with income limits, because that money is trying to be funneled to a certain market or group. That all goes out the window, so to speak. Income no longer is an issue if you're buying in a certain community. And the reason for that is because there's a concern not only to help individuals who are in a certain income range, but there's also a concern to help revitalize these communities.
Exactly.
And so if a person is willing to move into this community, in some programs, income doesn't matter. So that was your surprise, because it sounds like up until then...
To be perfectly honest with you, and sorry to cut you off, we're talking about just a very well end up behaved.
Well, you can't even go by what you visually see. You have to, and so...
Because the other census tracts where she decided she did not want to be.
Yeah.
So...
But you went from a down payment, I'm going to say a significant down payment maybe, to no down payment because of the location of the property.
Where I live is a couple miles from the guy.
That's awesome. Yes.
Right down the street. It's not like I'm in some street.
Right.
If your children
Right.
still have in high school.
Very much so. So, yes, I felt very comfortable.
Good.
The community, like I said before, it's a 2-story home. It's a brick face home. I think my house was built in, I want to say like 13.
Okay.
It's a particularly old house. And so what ended up happening is there were qualifiers to participate in the census tract home. I had to take this class, which they lied. It says 4 hours. No, it was not 4 hours.
Don't tell them that. Okay. Don't tell them listening audience
that was a several-day week.
That's because you work so hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you just sat at your computer and do it and participate, it'd be fine. But it's very long, it's very thorough, and you have to take a quiz at the end.
Tell us a little bit about it, please. We've got some time.
Okay. So there's a class that you have to take, and the class takes you through. It's really basically just from bottom to top education for the consumer about the home buying process, what your responsibilities are as a homeowner, what the roles are of people who participate and engage with you in that process, because they want to make sure that you understand what the law is and what the rules are, what resources you have access to. They want to make sure you understand what your obligations are. And so it's really an education that, to be honest with you, they don't teach you in school. And most people, either learn by trial by error or trial by some unfortunate situation they kind of hear about. Right. So the hope is that you would have at least a good foundation for what legitimate resources look like, and so that you can't, find yourself in a compromising position. And it also helps to educate you about, again, what you're required to do in order to participate in the program and to be a good homeowner and good faith with this program.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Appreciate that.
Another question that I have is, so it took 60 days to find the house. Once you went under contract, how quickly did you guys close? 30 or less?
Well, it didn't take us 60 days to find the house. So we were in a...
I was going to say, it was pretty quick. I mean,
maybe within 3 weeks or something like that, or less than that. It's just the time frame she wanted to close because of her lease running out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we just kind of spread that out a little bit, didn't we, as far as the time frame to close?
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was like almost ready. But again, if I remember correctly, we tried to work it out where
everything lined up. Yep. Because I hear that she had a plan. No, she had a plan because she had a lot going on. It sounded like everything needed to line up. Yes. Yeah.
I was graduating. He was heading off to university, not too far from here, but he would be away. I just wanted to make sure I got everything buttoned up between when he graduated and when he left my house. He left my house in early part of August.
Okay.
So that's how quickly it happened.
Yes.
It's a matter of fact, picking him up tonight. Yeah, this evening deal again. But yeah, the process went pretty quickly, but it's like I was really kind of on it. And, I made sure that, I did everything that was required of me to participate in the program. I knew that this is something I had said I wanted to get done. Yeah. My mother had passed away last year. And so I kind of got off of what I was trying to do, because this would have happened last year or even a few years even before that. But, things happen, and so you kind of focus in a different direction.
That's right.
That's right. I what had my attention at that time. But the reason why I chose to sort of come here today, even talk about this, is because to me, I personally want to thank you because you've been so helpful. And not only just as a realtor, but, giving comments as feedback and truly has been really welcoming to me personally. And I can't tell you that enough. To Miss Dodd, she always kind of stayed on top of me, even when I was getting frustrated, because I'm like, didn't I turn in 2 days? Kind of like that thing, like I'm that person. And she re-explained to me again, or have the other lady call me.
Well, it was the same thing if you've been with Diana. So
for you, again, I listen to religious stations and a lot of talk radio. That's how you know how old I am. Those are my lanes right now. But I heard the radio show. I heard your engagement with the people who are on the show. To me, it made me feel comfortable. That is what made me, I have a banking relationship that's 30 years deep, but I didn't go there. I went there and looked, and they told me okay, but I saw, for whatever reason, I just was more interested in kind of moving forward your organization. Your unselfishness and saying, hey, maybe this other way is a better way for you. To me, it speaks about, integrity and community. And to me, the reason why I came on the show is never want to kind of give a shout out to all of you.
Thank you.
But then also to, like I said, if I could be of service and help somebody else, it does not hurt me to share information or resources if I have access to it.
Right.
And so to me, I didn't want it to be about me. I want it to be about, hey, this is a program that's out there. You can be a person out there working, make a certain amount of income or whatever it is, high or low. Mm-hmm. There are programs out there that can help you and help you sort of position yourself with the best options.
Go ahead.
What are the top 3 things you would say to anyone that's thinking about buying a home? What are those top 3, maybe 5 things that you would say to them to help them move forward? How do they prepare to move forward?
Sure. Just first of all, kind of make sure you're in a place where you can kind of understand what you can afford. Mm-hmm. People will give you all kind of money, but can you afford that? So that, my first thing is think about what you can afford. For me, I thought about the location of where I'm where I want to stay. Make sure that you feel comfortable. To me, make sure you understand the different options that are available to you. Education is currency, right? So if you don't know what you need, at least surround yourself with people who can inform you a little bit, and who you know and feel comfortable with will tell you the best information, not just for their own self-interest, but for the interest of you. Not everybody is like that. Some people, you're just a number. Yeah. With other organizations, I almost felt like this a number. I don't know if it felt personal to me in any context. In this situation, I felt more comfortable because I felt like the people I was dealing with care. They were professional. They were very cognizant of doing what's right and what's by the book and what's the rules. She was constantly reminding me about what the rules are. This guy was constantly telling me what the rules say. It's like, that's what to kind of So they weren't doing some ship shot thing to just try to expedite a sale or close. They're going to close and sell regardless. To me, I'd rather work with a person who's going to go slow and make sure we're doing everything properly than be rushing. And then later on, I find that there's so many areas and issues about things that I don't know about.
Right.
I'm an expert on me. I'm not an expert on home buying, right? And so I need people around me to tell me what to do. Same thing in my job. I don't know everything, so I need to surround myself with people who know what's right and what's proper and what's legal, so that we're always compliant. So,
couple of things. Just a couple of minutes. You're a young man. I'm not gonna call them boys. You're a young man. So I know you involved them in the house and looking at the house.
I did.
And was it positive? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how has it changed everybody to actually know they own a home? Because they own it too. They're right with you.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of the things I want to make sure they understand. I talk to my kids all the time about life insurance. I'm just realistic. I mean, I'm young, but, life is life. And so I want to make sure they understand, hey, here are what my policies are. Here's what you want. Here's what you should do. And so I want them to be a part of the process, because at the end of the day, if something ever happens, this is theirs. And so I want them to understand and feel comfortable that they are just a part of this process. My one son has been in his role maybe 2 or 3 times. And he went straight off to school.
Right, straight off to school.
Went right out to school. And so he was here a couple of weeks ago for a wedding. He'll be back here this weekend for getting the braces tweaked up. But but it's his role to do what he will. And I told him that. I said, you can paint, draw, whatever you want to do in here, this is your business. But yeah, they were really an integral part of the process. She saw him unshaven and
right. Good-looking young man. Dana, thank you so much for joining us on Channel 40 or WHMB. We really appreciate it, and you have a great day.
Thank you.